Hi, this is Bobby Shokes Jr. again. Welcome back, and thanks for watching this, our final installment of our three-part video series on this website. In the first two videos, I discussed who we are, and I got pretty specific about what it is we do. But right now, I'd like to expand on our business model and what our business model means to you, because not all of the aspects are immediately obvious. For example, all of our construction is done in-house. We don't hide behind layers of other persons or entities, and hence we cannot pawn any unforeseen construction issues on some third-party contractor. We did it, period. Now, first and foremost, we are construction specialists. We view properties literally from the foundation up, from the bottom up. And if and only if a property can be made to meet those predetermined standards by our own in-house team, not someone else, within our budget, it's coming out of our pocket, then and only then will we offer to buy that property. If those numbers don't work, then we don't buy it, period. We're not trying to pawn off some portion of that business onto you. Now, the very nature of this website is an example of what I'm referring to. In this website, I've been very specific about what we do, and you'll find a list of those predetermined standards I've spoken of. We don't hide them. We put them right out there for everyone to see, including would-be competitors. And this keeps us even more motivated to make sure that we simply do it better than the next guy. After all, if the competition can see everything you're doing, you'd better be able to deliver the goods more efficiently than anyone else around. Now, after all is said and done, we've bought right, we fixed right, and we financed right. Now we've got to make sure that we are managing it right. Now, most management companies, let's be honest, are first and foremost maintenance companies, and their profitability is based on providing maintenance services. The more they do, the more money they make. Sure, there are management fees, but when your costs, your maintenance costs, start eating away at your ability to pay off your mortgage early, and thus get to the point where you can really start generating some income, well, then soon you'll realize that your management company is really just a maintenance company in disguise. At Keystone Property Service, we have structured our model to make sure that we remain motivated to not only buy right and fix right and finance right, but if we have any hope of collecting that second mortgage, we'd better make sure that you are a happy client well into the future. Remember, your first year of full service property management is free. And after that, we are hoping that you will want to retain our services at the customary rate of the same 8% everybody else is charging in town. Obviously, we can't hope to recoup the cost of that first year free unless you are so happy with our service that you remain a property management client well into the future. You are under no obligation to retain our property management service. So it's also in our best interest to maintain a close look at that routine maintenance of the property, which will allow us to protect that now sacred second mortgage. Now, this is why I personally oversee the management of your property in the long term. I don't want anything standing between you, me, and our future business. So listen to what I am about to say, because this is important. We have purposefully structured our business model so as to make certain that if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. And that very simple concept will be a very powerful benefit to you every single day of the next 30 years. Now, to help in this process, we use a cloud-based property management software so that you can have access to your property status, a full array of financials online 24/7 from anywhere you happen to be standing in the world at the moment. You can print out quarterly reports or annual reports. You can hand those reports to your accountant, and that, as they say, is that. It's a thing of beauty. Now, on this website page, there will be a link, a username, and a password that will allow you to view the specifics of some actual properties, their actual financials, and these are properties that are owned by one of our current clients. Just happens to be the first 7 properties that he purchased from us. And only the specific address and tenant names have been modified to protect their privacy. You should feel free to peruse the financials and experiment with the various reports that you will have access to as one of our clients. What you see is exactly the kind of thing that you should expect to see as a property management client of ours. Now, I will caution you, however, that you will not find copies of the actual lease agreements or the tenant payment checks or things that would ordinarily be there. We've had to delete these for obvious reasons, but you will definitely be impressed. So certainly take the time to check that out. Now, at this point, let me address what is probably the number one objection that I hear from interested real estate investors. Now, you might say, well, Bobby, I understand that you and everyone else at the Keystone Group are educated, you're experienced, and you're skilled, and I can certainly see where using real estate holdings to generate long-term wealth and income is a pretty smart move. After all, that's where the British monarchy derives its income. And yes, I understand that you have a firm grasp on the whole property management aspect of this business, but why the city? Why should I invest in a place that I really don't feel all that comfortable in, for whatever reason? Now, many people will tell you that a city environment is no place to invest, and for most people that is true. If you are not a skilled contractor in your own right, then older city homes can present a great number of obstacles and issues that you may not even recognize exist until after it's too late. But remember, the cost of an older home to rent it is the same value as a newer home. It's just that the older home didn't cost you as much to buy in the first place, but it's going to generate the same income side by side. You choose where it is that you want to put your money and how much money you want to make as a return on your investment. Now, fortunately, these issues here at Keystone Property Service are not a problem. Now, I'll grant you that most people who are in a position to invest in real estate in the first place are going to feel more comfortable walking through a suburban area property. Not all for certain, but most. And here's my response to that. Cash on cash return, or return on investment, depending on how you want to put it. We simply cannot provide for you the kind of return on your $5,000 investment that I have described here. Not in a suburban area. Not on a consistent basis anyway. Oh, sure, there's going to be the occasional opportunity that presents itself in a higher dollar market. But I'm not going to pretend that a 1 in 10 market occurrence is the norm. I'm not going to stand here and present the occasional success story as if you can expect that result this time and every time. That's just not reasonable. So if you want to know that if you invest $50,000, that in just 3 years you will have 20 fully functioning long-term viable properties with your original $50,000 back in your hands with interest, then we're going to have to put up with a few more headaches. But besides, that's why we're here, so you don't have to deal with those headaches. Now, we choose the city environment for several reasons. One, there is a great need, and there is as great a need for clean, quality, affordable housing as there has ever been, and we all know that that need is going to increase over the coming years. Even without empirical evidence, we can all feel that. The second is your return on investment. It simply cannot be beat. Third, the number of available units is beyond calculation at this point, at least in the greater Harrisburg area. I can look you in the eye at this point and honestly talk about the ready availability of viable properties years into the future, whereas I simply cannot honestly do that in a suburban area. Well, at least not in the greater Harrisburg area anyway. Now lastly, and this one's a little bit selfish, maybe even a little cocky, there is very little competition for us here in the city. To be bluntly honest, there simply isn't anyone here with the skill set to do what it is that we do. Again, I'm confident enough to make that statement and to lay out our whole business model right here on this public website. And that simple fact gives us the decided edge, and an edge that you stand to benefit from into the future. Now, before I forget, if you have a 401k or any other type of retirement account already in place, We can guide you through the process of setting up your own self-directed IRA, and in that way, you can achieve these same results, turning $50,000 into 20 properties that in 10 years will pay you 6 figures in retirement income, which will probably dramatically improve the returns of your existing retirement plan while using the funds that you already have set aside for that very purpose. Now remember, capital gains that are acquired through your self-directed IRA have to be paid back into your IRA account. But building up that retirement nest egg is generally the purpose of that account in the first place. You can always draw off of that account later in life if you so choose. Now, all of these things are benefits to you. We buy right, we fix it right, we finance and manage it right. We have the education, the skills, the staff, and the mindset to do what most people will only claim to teach you how to do. And we have structured our business model so that our success only mirrors your success. But all of these factors, weighty though they might be, do not tell the entire story here at Keystone Property Service. No, I maintain that the most important benefit to you is this: I will not accept failure. Not for anyone involved. I protect you, the tenant, the city, and my own company with equal vigor. Right is right, and that makes life one whole lot easier. You and I may have some future discussion about whether or not we could have made a little bit more money or how we could have done that. However, we will not have a discussion that involves you losing money. And I am so dedicated to that purpose that I am making you this public guarantee now. If the maintenance cost on any property you buy from Keystone Property Service exceeds your gross cash flow over the next 10 years, then I will reduce the amount of that final balloon payment on that now sacred 15% second mortgage by double the amount you lost. And if that doesn't prove to be enough, then I will then provide you with free full-service property management until you are made whole again, double. Furthermore, if at the end of the first year, any property that you have purchased from me does not perform to expectation, then I will refund your entire investment, your out-of-pocket expenses, and assume full responsibility for that property and its associated mortgage. We don't sell junk. Now, others can talk all day about the policies and procedures and structured mechanisms that you can dream up, but in the end, it all comes down to people. Right now, I want to encourage you to look at those predetermined standards, the list located on this website. Definitely check out the cloud-based property management software I referred to. I thank you for watching. I hope you will consider investing with Keystone Property Service. Give us a call or send us an email, but next time, let's do this in person.